warm back there? Just don't fall asleep. Okay, so Sophie, you were in the Twix last week, right? And it was also Aiden, wasn't it? Yeah, for the lines that you had memorized, which is excellent. Now this is fun, not this week because she's in Florida, not next week because she's still in Florida, but Miss Joan will come in and listen to us say our lines.
I just heard from my mom, I just told her
What?
like how long until the play. She's like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and I was like,
Because it's the first Sunday in December, so it's coming really fast. You know, you think Christmas, so it'll be later in December. It's that first Sunday in December, so it is coming close, isn't it? All right, how many of you have your costumes all set and ready to go? Okay.
I just need to find like the red glasses.
Okay, or like orange. Yeah, Peppa kind of wears orange. That's perfect. Thank you. Okay, you want to be thinking about that and make sure you're getting that squared away just in the last few weeks that we have. Okay, who's ready to say their Bible verse? I have it right here. It's definitely a longer one that we had from last week, Colossians 3:12. And I've got some gummies, and then I've got peach rings, so if you can say your verse with no mistakes, I'll let you choose which one you'd like, okay? I'll open up a whole fresh bag if you'd like it. Who's ready to say it? Colossians 3:12. Ivana, first hand up.
I'm seeing.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm. 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 Yes. Wow, you added 2 ands that weren't there, but every other word was perfect. So would you like a peach ring or would you like some gummy bears? Peach ring. Ah, these are maybe a favorite amongst the class. Okay. Wow, so you got a haircut too, but it's still a different style than, oh, well, you kind of combed yours over. So Isaac has the haircut.
yes.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead.
Follow therefore as the elect of God,
Mhm.
and follow the bounds of mercy,
Mercies?
mercies,
Yeah.
kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering.
Wow.
3 verse 12?
That's it. What would you like? Peach ring again. Okay, go ahead.
Go on therefore the elect of God, holy and beloved, the bounds of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering. Colossians chapter 3 verse 12.
You guys are nailing it today. Peach ring also. Are you raising your hand, Nathan? No? Okay, I wasn't sure if it was an itch or if it was a raised hand. Okay, anyone else? Juliana? Juliana, this is like the 5th week you haven't memorized your verse. Because you were practicing that. Oh my. Excuses, excuses. No, I'm joking. Okay, no one else, right? We have it all? Everyone said it that wanted to say it? Yep. Okay, good. Our new verse I'll hand out in just a bit, but it's also the verse that's on the board, so we'll be talking about it. I don't think it's quite as long as the other. So we'll see. We'll see how we do with that. Okay? Anyone have anything to tell me from their week? Oh, didn't you just finish your fall break? You did.
Oh, yeah. Back to school tomorrow?
Back to school. Did anyone do anything really exciting for fall break or just something you haven't been able to do for a while or because of school? What did you do? Oh, lots of candy. Juliana?
I went to the gym with my mom.
You went to the gym?
Yeah.
Were you lifting weights?
Yeah.
Oh, I would like to do that with you sometime, Juliana. That'd be fun. Do you enjoy it or is it like, I'll go because there's nothing else to do?
I liked it. Like it was.
Oh, good, good. Okay. Anyone else? You had some fun, you did something enjoyable?
Just relax.
Who just relaxed? You were so busy during the school year. It's nice to just be able to relax, right? Josh and Zach, did you guys have a fall break or were you still in school? You did have a fall break, so you didn't go to school for the week? Very nice. Hey, that's a good deal. Okay, remember this song that we started singing last week? It's not your favorite one. This one is 1 John 4, 7, and 8. But we said that it went very... Zeph, did you have something to say?
I didn't memorize it
You forgot it. Well, you know what? You can try again this week with the new verse I'll give you, okay? You can work at it. You can even say it to your mom or to your dad or to Zach, and they can help you out. Sound good? This one, we said, goes really well with our lesson about meekness because it's talking about loving other people, right? And we'll get to this later on, but esteeming other people better than you esteem yourself. And we'll talk about that word, esteem. Okay, ready? Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God, and everyone that loveth is born of God, and knoweth God. He that loveth not, knoweth not God, for God is love. Beloved, let us love one another. 1 John 4, 7 and 8. When I would teach this to the kids in our Christian school, they'd go at the end of the song. I have no idea why, but they just started doing that. Okay, so beloved, let us love one another. Do you know who that includes? Beloved, let us love one another. Who is the one another there? It's everyone, right? It's your mom. It's your dad. It's the brother that really annoys you. It's your sister. It's everyone. We should love one another, okay? And God is the perfect picture of love. Why? Because it's not just that God shows love. It's that God is love. Okay, now here's the fun one. I should say the one that you especially like and enjoy. Okay, first we're going to start with a solo. So Juliana, you can sing it. No, joking. I just wanted to see your face. Okay, I'm just joking. This is what we'll do. All the girls will do the first part and all the boys will follow on so we can sing it around. Okay? So girls, you'll start. So which of our boys know it really well? It means you have to sing out. Okay, you can't whisper. Ready, girls? Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice, boys. Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice. Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice. Rejoice, rejoice, and again I say rejoice, boys. Rejoice, rejoice, and again I say rejoice. Not too bad. Now this is what we're going to add on. Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice. Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice. Okay, so you have to do that. Oh, and so, you know, this part. Rejoice, rejoice, and again I say rejoice. Clap, okay? Now that'll make our round sound even neater. Okay, so what we'll do this time is, Zach, Josh. Zach? Was I right with Zach? Yes. Zach and Sophie and Nathan, group 1. Ivana and Josh and Juliana and Zeph, group 2. And then the 3 boys in the back, group 3. So now we're going to do our round of 3 different parts. Don't forget the clapping. Ready? Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice. Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice. Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice. Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice. Rejoice, rejoice, and again I say rejoice, boys. And again I say rejoice. Not too bad. We have a very kind lady that watches this video. I didn't even know that she was, and she said, wow, when they sing this song, they do such a good job. So I was like, oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. I think they do too. Okay, now it's sword drill time, and you get a peach ring when you find the scripture reference. Okay, I like to try this because later on we will be looking for this particular verse and we will be talking about it. So we have 3. No, and then here we have 4. So Sophie, sorry, you can use this one. It's heavy, sorry, it's very heavy. And then I'll grab some more from the auditorium. Okay, so older. Oh, Zeph, can we just have one of the older boys do it? Can you give it to Isaac? There we go. Look at this. Old, 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 old. Here we go. Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh, out of fairness, I'll let him do it then. You can join in after Juliana. There we go. Ready? Hold this by the spine. There we go, by the spine. Philippians 2:3. Say it. Philippians 2, 3, charge. No, you have to show me. You have to point at it in the Bible that you've gotten there. Nice try.
You're really good at stupid thing. I went too far. You went too far. Oh, there it is.
Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians.
3 or 5?
Verse 3.
Okay, yeah. 3.
Show me. You don't have to read it because they have it on board. That's it. Nathan got it. Very good. Okay, pass yours, please, to one of the younger ones.
Who wants?
So Zeph should have one. Ivana should have one. Josh and Zach should have one. Julian, I think you're a bit too old to be in that group, so we'll give you a chance with the older group. You and Nathan can switch. Could you give your Bible to Josh and Zach? Are we ready?
Yes.
1 John 4:8. That's the song we just sang. 1 John 4:8. Say it. 1 John 4:8. Oh, I didn't say charge yet, so you got to hold the Bible up. Charge. 1 John 4:8. You can get her to that part of the Bible. Okay? Thank you, Juliana. 1 John 4:8. You got to find it, though. Before you stand, you have to have your finger on the verse. So look for where it says number 8.
That's John. That was not 1 John.
Oh, she's not at 1 John.
Oh, she's on 1 John.
1 John 4:8.
First John.
4:8.
1 John, right?
Wait.
She's on 17.
Does he have it?
He's on
Okay. So Aiden, look for chapter 4, and then put your finger down and find number 8. I'm going to teach you guys a song in this class that will help you know where every book is. Did you find verse 8? Okay. Put your finger on it. Oh, no, that's the book of John. It's not 1 John. Yeah, I think that's what Sophie was. It's 1 John. So the last 2 books of the Bible are Jude and Revelation. 1st and 2nd and 3rd John are right before Jude. So it's really towards the back part of your Bible. Did you find it? No? No? Okay. 1 John. 1st and 2nd, 3rd John, Jude and Revelation. Did you find it? Okay, let's see. But where is it? You have to have your finger on it.
Where's 8?
Juliana, let her find it. No, not Juliana, let her find it. You have to have verse 8.
8.
Oh, she doesn't know where 8 is yet. Anyone else? Find number 8, Zeph, and put your finger right next to it. No, this is chapter 4. That's chapter 4. Now put your finger down and find number 8. There's 5. Keep going, keep going.
7.
Where's number 8? Do you have it? Do you have it? Let me see. Let me see. Oh, he got it. Just before Zeph got her finger there. Okay, back to the older ones, please. Oh, did you both find it together? No, you found it? He found it. Okay, just want to make sure I'm getting candy to the people who found it. Okay, back to the older ones, please. Nathan, if you just want to swap with Juliana so you can sit out here. Ready? Oh my, this one should be found in 10 seconds. John 3:16. You have to have your finger on it. Say it. John 3:16. Charge. John 3:16. Oh, did you find it? Go ahead, Juliana. That's it. Juliana got it. One more for the older ones, and then you could just switch with Nathan here. One more for the older ones. Some bells should ring in your mind from last week. Ready? Colossians. What am I going to say?
I don't know.
From last week, chapter 3, verse 12. Say it. Colossians 3:12. Charge. That's it. Put on therefore as the elect of God. Wow, Nathan is a fast one with these sword drills. Do you know why they're called sword drills? Because remember when we talked about the whole armor of God? The Bible says that it's the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, right? So it's called a sword drill. Okay, we can put our Bibles down. We might have a few more towards the end of our lesson. Let's have some review questions from last week. It's always good to review because our brains get busy and they get tired and we forget even when we're young, so it's always good to review. So this is what we'll do. I'll choose one person, they choose who they'd like to go against, and then we're going to do our duel. You have to stand back to back, and you take 3 steps forward, okay, and then you have to turn and answer the question when I say go. So the first one to say it, obviously, is the person that wins the duel. Okay, first person I would like to choose today is Ivana. She's always a good, she's always good at this. Okay, she could choose whoever she likes. Ivana, who would you like to go against? They're putting the pressure on, aren't they? Ivana, careful with that wood. I think it's okay, but you probably don't want to lean on it. Okay, you have to choose in 4 seconds. 4, 3, 2. Zeph? Okay. Now, how about you guys come and stand here back to back so we can all see. Come stand here back to back. You know what I mean, back to back? There we go. Oh, back to back, so your back touches her back. Okay, now I'm going to ask the question in just a second. You're going to take 3 steps forward. And when I say go, you have to turn around and answer the question really fast. Ready? Here we go. What does the word meekness mean? 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. So Zeph, you take 3 steps. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now when I say go, you turn around and answer. What does meekness mean? Go.
Soft.
Soft? Okay, so like if I touch something and it's soft, that means meekness? No. Can you try again? Any word you can think of? That could mean the same thing as meekness. What does that character trait mean? Or maybe tell me what it doesn't mean. Like if someone does this, they're not a meek person. If someone does this, they are a meek person.
Like if someone wants to fight with you, but you say no.
But you say no if it's for a silly reason, right? Very good. You got it, Ivana. Here you are. Okay, round of applause. The next person I choose is Josh. Who would you like to go against? Zach, it is Zach? Okay, come and stand right here. Back to back. What did you say? I guess. Okay, ready? Same question. You have to try to give me a little bit of a better answer. What is meekness? 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, go.
Patience.
What is it?
Patience.
Very good. Someone who is meek shows patience with other people, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Blow it off. Okay, ready? Aiden. Who would you like to choose? Let's see. Oh, sorry. I left it in the way. Who would you like to choose, Aiden? You can stay right there.
Nathan.
Oh, I thought it might be Nathan. Okay, back to back right here in the middle. Okay, I was going to give one, but I thought that maybe was a little bit of an example, too easy. Here's the question. Why should Christians be the meekest people on the earth? Think. Why should Christians? It has something to do with what the Bible says. Ready? 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, go.
Because to be like Jesus.
Okay, I'll give it to you. So we know we should be like Jesus, right? Okay, very good. Back to your seats. Why should we be the meekest people? And the most humble people? Because we know the Bible says that we are what? We know the Bible says we are sinners. People who are lost, they're probably not reading the Bible. But if you're a Christian, you're reading the Bible. And you know that it says that we are all sinners. So we have nothing to be prideful about, right? Okay, let's maybe do one more question, and I choose Sophie.
Don't choose me.
She's going to choose whoever she likes.
Oh, you're gonna choose.
Juliana. You can't hide forever. Okay, back to back over here so you have enough room. Okay, this is the question. When Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, the disciples were there. They came to arrest him, but how did he show meekness? 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, go.
Because he did. Because Marcus is here.
Oh, good. I'll give it to you. So he healed Malchus's ear that someone chopped off, and he could have. You're welcome. He could have destroyed every single person there that was going to arrest him. Right? He's God. He can do anything. He could have called for angels to deliver him, but he didn't. He allowed himself to be captured, and then, of course, also put to death for us. Wait, who haven't I called on yet? Who haven't I called on? Okay, you're up. Now, you could surprise us all and choose someone that we're not expecting you to choose, or you could just choose whoever you like to choose.
Someone again?
It can be anyone you like, honestly. Anyone you like. Well, she's fine with it. Okay, ready? Here's the question. Why is it important for a Christian to be a peaceful person? Just think. Why is it important to be peaceful? So we're not arguing, we're not fighting, we're not causing strife and problems all the time. 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, go.
So you can be meekness?
Okay, so we can be meek, so we can be like Jesus, right? He called on you and then you beat him, didn't you? Woo. Okay, and then this time I called on Zach already, right? So now I'm going to call on Josh. Ready? You don't have to choose your brother. You can choose someone else. You do want to choose your brother? You're saying you're Zach. I'm confused.
He's Josh. He's Josh.
Josh, come on up. You what? Oh, that's okay. You and your brother went last time, right? Are you okay?
He's stuck. He's stuck.
Oh, dear.
Okay,
Okay, so that means you have a turn again, and you can choose anyone in the room you like. There's a few other boys that you could go against, right? You have to choose in 4 seconds. Ready? 4. Really? Okay. Come on up. We're having a rematch. Who won last time?
Oh, no. Josh won.
Okay, so let's see. Oh, where are we going? Back to back? There we go, boys. Good. Tell me, in a story that we had last week, how did the businessman from the city, remember? Businessman from the city show that he was not a meek person. There were a few things that he did. Okay, how did he show that he was not meek? 3 steps. 1, 2, 3, go. Yes, he talked very rude and disrespectfully to the people. Excellent job. So he won this time. Okay, back to your seats. Good job. Good job. Do you remember that story?
Now I do.
Now you do after you've heard that? Okay. Very good, girls and boys. You are just wide awake today. Okay, now, what's that?
He never got chosen.
Who?
No.
Oh, but didn't you go against your brother?
No, but he didn't get one.
Oh, okay, that's all right. We have lots of other games to play in class. Okay, ready? Have you ever seen these letters before? Let's see if you have. I'll write them here. I think everyone can see here. W, W, J, D. Sorry, doesn't look like a D. Have you ever seen those letters written together before?
No.
No? You never have?
Together or like separate?
all together. Sometimes people had them as a bumper sticker, or there's been t-shirts with these letters on them. And it's something that Christian people would think about. Sophie kind of remembers. Okay, so in this story, we're going to talk about WWJD. You know what it stands for? It's a question, actually. What would Jesus do? Oh, is that a good question to ask yourself when you're in the middle of maybe an argument or someone is mistreating you? Is that a good question to ask yourself? What would Jesus do in this situation? So before we decide what we're going to do, we can stop and think, wait, what would Jesus do? So I want to tell you about a story of two girls. How many of you girls here have another girl that you would just say, that's one of my closest friends? Who has someone like that? Yeah, so maybe someone comes to your mind when I say that, right? Well, these two girls were very good friends, and their name was Paula and Kathy. Look at them. Oh, they're just little girls, aren't they? Yeah, they just look about 6 or 7 or 8. Now, both of them were getting ready to go to the store because they were going to choose some fabric that they needed for their sewing classes. Now, has anyone here ever taken a sewing class? I've never taken a sewing one, but I have taken a knitting class, I think it was, with 2 needles, and you don't sew. You knit, and then you make a blanket or something fancy like that. Miss Beth's really good at that, but I think she crochets, which is close to the same thing. These girls were going to sew. So it's time to go to the store, pick out the fabric that they needed. They were going to make a purse for their first project. And what girl doesn't like a purse, right? So Kathy, she knew exactly what material she was looking for. She said, oh, I'd love something pink with little flowers on it. That's what she preferred. So she hoped when she went to the store that that's exactly what she would find. So they both went in. They're looking around, looking through the aisles. You know how ladies do. Sometimes it's hard for us to make a decision. We have to look at something, and then we go back and look at it again, and then we look at something else. Boys, you probably know, right? From shopping with your mom or shopping with your sisters. How long do we have to stay in this store? Well, as they were walking through the aisles, Paula said, oh, this is exactly what I want. I just love the way that it looks. And she grabbed the bolt of material and she said, I'm buying it. Well, guess what? This, if you remember, was the exact type of fabric that who was looking for? That Kathy was looking for. When Paula went into the store, she was just, well, if I like something, I'll get it. But Kathy already had in her mind exactly what she was looking for. So when Paula grabbed it off of the rack, she thought, that was what I wanted. That's what she thought on the inside. But she thought a minute and she said, should I tell Paula I really wanted that one? Can you find something else? Or should she say, can we make a switch? Can you choose maybe one with flowers but a different color in the back? But then she asked herself this question. She said, okay, what would Jesus do? Now, Jesus didn't go shopping for material, right? But in every situation that happened, he did the right thing. So she had to stop. What would Jesus do? Now, how do you think it would make Paula feel if Kathy said, Paula, why did you choose that? That was the one I wanted. How could she possibly feel if Kathy were to say something like that to her? What do you think? How would that make you feel? Juliana and Sophie are shopping together, and Sophie gets upset, and she's, Juliana, why did you choose that one? That's what I wanted. How would that make you feel? Or boys, if you're at Smith's toy store and there's only one exact toy of what you wanted and someone took it. What's that? Oh, okay, there you go. You can think of that, and someone went in front of you and took it. How would you feel if, how would that person feel if you were to say, hey, give that back. I wanted that one. Well, we can ask ourselves this question, what would Jesus do? Do you think Jesus would push for his own way and say, give it back, go find something else? No. Jesus, we know, was the example of perfect meekness. So, how can you show meekness in this situation with these girls? What could Kathy do to show meekness? First thing, which would be a hard thing, is not to say anything about it. Okay, now this is not that big of a deal. Someone chooses the fabric that you wanted, right? So it would be a meek thing for her to do, to just let it go and say, she liked that kind. She can have that. I'll find something else that I like. Right? Would that be showing meekness? Yeah. And guess what? Because she asked that question, what would Jesus do? Then she was able to just do what I said, let it go. Paula kept the fabric and she found something else that she liked. Now, we listen to a story like that and we kind of think it's not a big deal. But when it's us, when it has to do with us, then we kind of feel like it is a big deal, right? We say, who does that person think they are? That one was supposed to be for me. That would be us not showing meekness, okay? Why would it be hard for Kathy to let Paula take the fabric? Juliana, what do you think? Why would that be hard?
Because, like,
She wanted it. Maybe she had this expectation of this is the exact material that I'll have, and then she was disappointed. So that would be difficult for her to let her friend have it, okay? So we see there that Kathy displayed what, class? What's the word? Meekness. She put someone else above herself, which is a very good thing. Now, we're going to stop right in the middle of that story and the next so that we can look at our Bible verse, which I just put right here. Ready? Philippians 2:3. Didn't we look this one up already today? There's 3 there. 1, 2, 3. Nathan will. This is a perfect verse to follow the story that I just told you. It's a simple story, but it's a great example of meekness. Has there ever been a time, can you pass those down, please? That there was something you wanted and someone took it from you? Was there ever a time where you wanted to play with a toy and then your brother or sister took it and played with it instead? Probably, right? So we all have an opportunity to be able to practice being meek when those things happen. Now look at Philippians 2:3. This is the Bible, right? This is the sword of the Spirit. We can use this to help us. Now, what does it say? Philippians 2:3 says, let nothing, absolutely nothing. Let me just turn this light on real quick. Let nothing be done through strife or vain glory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. Okay, now can you read it for me, please? Philippians. Go ahead.
let nothing be done through strife or
Vainglory, yeah.
lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves.
Great.
Philippians chapter 2,
Verse 3. Now, is there a phrase in this verse that you think could sum up the word meekness? Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory. Obviously, strife, vainglory, we'll talk about that in a second, but that's not meekness. But in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. Does the phrase stand out to you, Nathan? Exactly. Nathan, you and I are just thinking the same things today. Lowliness of mind. Does that mean you spend your time saying, I'm just the worst person in the world. I can't do anything. I have no talents. I'm ugly. I'm this, I'm that. No. Remember we said humility is not thinking badly about yourself. Humility is not thinking about yourself. It's getting your eyes on other people. So that's a great way to sum up meekness. Lowliness of mind. So in your mind, when you think about yourself, you don't go on, I'm the most beautiful person. No one can play piano like me. No one can sing like me. That's not having lowliness of mind, is it? Now look at the next part. Let everyone esteem other better than themselves. So this word esteem means to honor, okay? To respect. So again, the Bible's not saying we should hate ourselves, but the Bible is saying we should think more highly of other people than we think about ourselves. We should treat people with great kindness. We should honor them above honoring ourselves. What would be an example of that? If you're getting in line for something, if you esteem yourself greater than other people, what are you going to do? You're going to be the first person to get to that line. You're going to shove other people out of the way, or you're going to cut in line. Oh, If you honor others better than yourself, you'll be okay with maybe being the last person in the line. You'll be okay with maybe not getting that huge piece of cake that you wanted so that someone else can have it. Well, sometimes that's hard, right? But that is meekness. Okay, let's say it together one more time. Ready? Philippians chapter 2, verse 3. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. Philippians chapter 2, verse 3. Now, what about these words? Strife and vainglory. Vainglory is definitely, I think, more of a Bible word. You hear that when you're reading the Bible. But what ideas come to your mind when you hear the word strife or vainglory? Vainglory is a little bit of a harder one. But if someone says, our home is just filled with strife, what are they saying? What do you think, Nathan?
Like everyone's just terrible to me.
Yes, maybe everyone's fighting, or there's always arguments going back and forth. There's always problems. There's always drama. That's strife. God is saying, whatever you do, don't allow strife to come in. Okay, what about vainglory? This word vain actually means empty. Empty. Okay, so vainglory is when we lift ourselves up. We want the glory. We want the attention. It's emptiness. Okay, so that should give you a good idea, I think, of this Bible verse and how well it ties in with being a meek person. Now, who knows someone or has known someone that can be a little bit difficult to get along with? Do you know someone like that? And probably we each have been someone like that at some point or another, right? But maybe you can think of someone at school or in your neighborhood, and there's just something about them that kind of annoys you or rubs you the wrong way every time you are with them. Okay? Sometimes there's just certain people, maybe because of our personality, their personality, that we just don't quite get along with as easy as we get along with others. Well, that was the case with Henry and Tom. Okay? Henry and Tom lived close to each other. Yeah, Zeph? Could we try to hold it just a little bit longer because they're right in the middle of the preaching? So tell me if it becomes an emergency, okay? So they were neighbors. They were just about the same age, and most of the time they got on well. They had fun things that they did together. But on occasion, Tom would give Henry the opportunity to practice patience. In other words, Tom wasn't always the easiest person to be around. He wasn't always the easiest person to get along with. So Henry would talk to his dad about it. He would tell him what was happening. That's a good thing. If there's problems, you should always let your parents know what's going on, even if you think it's something small. And Henry's dad was a Christian man, and Henry was a Christian. And he said, I know sometimes that Tom's really hard to get along with, okay? But guess what? No one's ever really taught him how to behave like a Christian. No one's really taught him what it means to be meek. He has no idea. So you, as a Christian, you need to show extra patience to him. Now, at school, do you have exercises that you have to do? Not like physical exercises, but spelling exercises and math exercises. I don't know if you call them exercises, but sometimes they're called that. In the same way that we have exercises in those subjects, God gives us exercises as Christians. He gives us things that really test who we are. And it shows us, oh boy, I have this problem and I really need to work on it. Or, oh boy, I've got some pride in my heart. I really need to ask God to help me with this. Well, his father explained to him, God gives us tests too. So maybe Tom is your test. Maybe being with Tom is teaching you how to be a patient person. We all need those lessons, don't we? Well, the next afternoon, Henry knew it was going to be another testing time with Tom because they were going to spend the whole day together. They were going to go to a soccer game, which I think you call football, right? going to go to a football game. And they were very excited about it, but a long day with someone can be a long day. So right from the beginning, Tom was excited too, but right from the beginning, he shoved his way onto the bus and pushed past people to get the seat by the window. Well, not only was he rude to others, but guess what? Henry said to his own self, that was the seat that I wanted. I wanted to sit by the window. Now, if he was not practicing meekness, he would have said, why did you sit there? No, switch with me. I really wanted that seat. And that's kind of something really silly to argue about, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So he stopped and he asked himself the same question. What would Jesus do? And he said, no, it's okay. He really wants that seat. We'll just stay here and he can enjoy it. There they are. He decided to be meek, right? Well, then they got to the game and Henry was so embarrassed. Tom cut right in the very front of the line so that he could get his tickets first and that he could get the best seat that he wanted in the stadium. Well, that's pretty embarrassing, isn't it? And it's pretty selfish to cut in front of a whole line of people that have been waiting and waiting and waiting. But it didn't stop there. And they went in to the stadium, and you know how you like to get snacks and drinks and things like that? They went in, and Henry went up to the concession and he found some ice cream that was his absolute favorite. And that was the very last one they had. So he thought, oh, good. I'm going to be able to enjoy this treat. But Tom, guess what he did? He whined and complained to Henry the whole time and said, I really wanted that. Why did you take it? How come you got the last one? And he went on and on and on until Henry just said, you know what, Tom? Here, you can have it. Now, maybe he was feeling a little bit impatient and he was ready to stop that whining. But he was asking himself, what question, class? What would Jesus do? Now, does that mean you have to give away something that means important, something that's important to you every single time? No. But this day, he was especially trying to practice meekness, and Tom was really giving him some practice. So he went home and he told his dad about his day. It wasn't that the game wasn't fun. It's not that they didn't have a good time, but his patience was tested that entire day. Well, his father reminded him, yes, probably was a long day. You might even have a headache by now. But Tom is an opportunity from God to teach you what you need to learn, to help you to grow. Sometimes we look at people and we think, oh, they just always cause problems for me. We never get along. But rather than looking at them like that, why don't you say, God has put this person in my life to allow me to learn patience, to allow me to be meek. Now, who in here, like I said earlier, who in here has someone that you really struggle to get along with? Probably all of us. I mean, we're human, right? No one gets along with everyone perfectly. Maybe for me, growing up, it was my 3 older brothers. We didn't always get along. But I could look at that and say, I know I'm not perfect, so they had to put up with me too. But it was a chance for me to learn how to put others first, okay? So sometimes it's hard to prefer other people. It really is, especially when you really wanted something and you were expecting to have that thing. Or what if there's someone in your neighborhood that you don't get along with? That happens sometimes, doesn't it? Before you react and before you show anger and before you try to fight, can you ask yourself, what would Jesus do? How would Jesus treat this person if this were happening to him? And I'm telling you, this question is so very helpful. But we can ask it anytime. What if you're taking a test and you can see your neighbor's answers and you're very tempted to look on their paper and write them down as your answers? Obviously, that's cheating, right? So when that thought comes to your mind, can you ask yourself, what would Jesus do? Would he cheat? Well, if he wouldn't do it, then probably it wouldn't please him if I did it, okay? So that was our second story, a good example of meekness, okay? Now, what are some ways that we can practice meekness? It's easy to talk about, but we have to say practically in our lives, how can we live out meekness? What does it look like for us to practice meekness in our lives? Well, how about this? Just a few ideas for you. Okay, ready? And then if you can add a few more ideas, I'll give you a treat for it. Never talk about yourself as the center of attention in a conversation. Okay, so if you're talking with someone and they say, oh, we get to go on vacation, and then you respond with, oh, well, I'm going on vacation too. And the person says, I got an A on my test. Oh, well, I got an A+ on that test too. Or you constantly try to do better than them and sound better than them. That's not being meek, is it? So when you're in a conversation with other people, the best thing to do to get to know them, ask them questions about themselves. You don't always have to talk about yourself as the center of the conversation, okay? How about listen to others instead of wanting others to listen to you? Now, I really had a hard time with that when I was growing up. I just want to go yap, 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 yap to my friends all the time. I didn't always take time to let them speak to me. You have to learn how to listen, okay? How about this one? Don't be a person that brags on yourself. Don't be a show-off, right? Because that's not the spirit of meekness. Again, you're making yourself the center of attention. What about practicing meekness this way? When you're lining up for something, you don't have to line up at the very front every time. You can line up at the middle. You can line up in the back. You're forcing yourself to practice meekness. How about this one? Oh, it's hard. Do not argue. Do not argue. Oh, that's a tricky one. I had that problem with my brothers. They had that problem with me, but my parents would go to the store and do something, and it was like an all-out war at our house. So we would all start fighting and yelling and everything like that. Let's try to practice meekness. Okay? How about be gentle? Be gentle to other people. Be kind to other people. Put others' needs before your own needs, especially you that are older siblings. Now, everyone in the home should practice it, but especially you that are older siblings and maybe you have a much younger sibling, you should always be looking out for them. You should always be helping them and taking care of them, even when they annoy you. Okay? And how about meekness always takes the lesser position. It means you don't have to be the first. You don't have to be number one. You don't have to be the best. You can take the lower position, even if it means you won't be recognized, okay? Now, what I'm not saying is that you shouldn't do your best. You should always do your best in school, in sports, whatever. You don't want to say to yourself, well, I'm going to try to be meek, so I just won't do my best. No, that's not. That's kind of being silly, okay? Meekness is the way that you treat other people. Meekness is the way that you think of yourself. Okay, do you have any other ideas to add? I would love if we could have maybe just 4 people tell me an idea that you have, a way to practice meekness, a way to practice humility. Maybe something at home with your family members, something at school, something with someone in your neighborhood. Juliana?
Just to say my brother takes the bathroom first, and I was bursting, I would just wait there patiently.
Very good. Yeah, that's great. Not bang on the door. Hurry up, would you?
Well, he's dead, so I just do that.
Okay, go ahead. Zach? Sorry, Josh, go ahead. What is it? Reading the Bible? Is that what you said? That's a great way to practice meekness. The more we know about God and the Bible, the more we can be like God. Okay, Zeph?
Love.
Good. Love who? Who should we love?
I love my dad and my mom.
No, of course. Love your family members and put their needs first. When my husband comes home, and it's been a long day for me and Claire's been naughty, when he walks through the door, I'm very tempted to say, you would not believe how terrible my day was. Claire did this and then this happened and I just want to go on this long list. But when my husband comes home from a long day of work, does he want to hear about all of my problems right away? No, I do want to tell him, but maybe not when he walks right through the door. Maybe let him sit down. Maybe bring him a drink. Maybe let him relax before I unload all the burdens of the day. Okay, so that's the one I added. So we've had 2. Can we have 2 more? Any other ideas of how we can practice meekness? What about some of the boys? Because all the girls are answering. Oh, I mean, you answer too. Oh, so 3. Okay, what about the twins? Isaac and Isaiah? I know your brains are always working, always thinking, always focused. Nathan?
You could.
Be nice to Sophie. What do you think, Nathan? What's a good idea? What's a good way to practice meekness?
You could like let other people do.
You kind of lose your thought? Have you ever had a family night and your parents say, okay, we're going to play a few games or we're going to play a game, and automatically a game comes to your mind that you really would love to play? Nathan, what could you do?
You could let other people choose.
Exactly. There'll be some other time to play the game that you like, so it'd be kind and meek for you to let someone else choose what you'll do. Okay, one more. We only need one, two. Oh, that was 4. Anyone else have an idea before I'm finished? Ivana, any ideas? No? Julianne, you have another one?
Can I guess we-
Sure, of course.
Okay, like, just to say, like, I really wanted to go to this store.
Yes.
But my mom had to go to deals.
Oh, right.
Like, actually important stuff. Like, I just want, like, even though, like, just to say, she needed some dishwasher.
Right, sure.
And I wanted, like, sweets.
Yep, perfect example. So how can you show meekness?
Like, let her go to her store first. And if I can, I can tell my mom, can I go to this store?
Great, exactly. And another thing would be not complaining to your mom the whole time she's in that store about how much you'd rather be at the other store, right? Poor moms, you don't want to give them a headache. Okay, now, one more treat to hand out today, and then I have to put away the sugar. But, Def, did you have an idea? You did? Okay, go ahead.
Sometimes when I go to the shower, my brother goes to the shower first, and my parents gonna walk in the shower. And
Oh, I know, I understand. So how can you show meekness?
by letting him go first.
Very good, Seth. I like that. You thought of a personal example, personal application. Very good. Okay, now it is time for us to, last treat, hand it out right here. Tell me the gospel in a nutshell. That was a while ago. So if you can remember it, I'll be very, very impressed. Sophie, you want to give it a try?
Everyone's a sinner. There's a price on sin. Jesus paid that price. What are you going to do about it?
Amazing. Very good, Sophie. I'm very impressed. Nathan, did you remember it too? Oh, okay. Anyone else? Juliana, you remembered it too? A little bit?
Yeah.
Sophie, it came right to her mind very fast. Okay, right now we're going to play Don't Break the Chain. Don't break the chain. You remember this idea, don't you? How this game goes? We're going to go around the room. Oh, here, let me ask you this. I'll let you choose which one you prefer. I'm going to be a meek teacher. No, I'm joking. Okay, so 2 choices. One choice would be Don't Break the Chain. And the other choice would be that memory game we played where we read a book in the Bible. And so if Nathan says Genesis, then when it's Sophie's turn, she has to repeat his Genesis, and then she has to add one.
Yes.
And then when Juliana goes, she has to say Nathan's, and she has to say Sophie's, and she has to add one.
Sure.
Okay, so those are the 2 options. Who would like to play Don't Break the Chain, the first game I mentioned? Who would like to play the memory one? Wow, you guys are choosing the harder one. Okay, are we ready? Now, I think I could remember everyone's, but just in case I can't, I'm going to write it down. So I'll put all the pressure on you to remember them. Okay, so let's do books of the Bible since last time we talked about characters in the Bible. Okay, Nathan, we shall start with you.
Wait. Books. Books of the Bible.
Books of the Bible. Can be New Testament or Old Testament.
Colossians.
Colossians, okay? So you have to start with his
Colossians, John.
and John.
Colossians, John, Genesis.
Okay, you guys in the back really have to be listening to these. You have to say all of them.
If they finish, we have to start again. Like, we'll keep on going.
Oh, we could try. I think that would be pretty tricky. Nathan would have to be the one then to remember everything. Okay, Genesis. Now, Zeph, your turn. You ready? Were you listening to the books?
Colossians, John, Genesis.
Zeph, are you ready to say it? Do you understand how we play the game? Okay, go ahead.
Colossians, John, Genesis.
And what are you going to add? What book of the Bible? I think she could think of one. Can you think of one book of the Bible? What about on your memory verse paper? What book of the Bible is that? You want to add that one? What is it?
Philippians.
Philippians. Good job. Okay, now coming over this way.
Colossians, John, Genesis, Philippians, Proverbs.
Proverbs, book of wisdom. Aiden.
Colossians,
Good.
John, Genesis, Philippians,
Good.
Proverbs,
Yeah.
Psalms.
Psalms. Good. So you can remember those two are just in backwards order. Proverbs, Psalms. In the Bible, it's Psalms and Proverbs. So just remember they're switched. Okay, go ahead. Your turn.
Colossians, John, Genesis.
Don't tell him. Don't tell him. He's got to do this on his own. After Genesis, we have our memory verse. Philippians. Good. Yep. Yes. Exodus. We are doing well so far. Okay, go ahead. Ready? It might help if you look at each person, and in a way it kind of helps you remember what they've said. Okay, so how did he start? Don't tell him. You remember? Did you blank out? You don't remember? You gotta say it out loud to me though. I gotta be able to hear you. You don't remember at all? Oh, Ivana?
Colossians,
Good.
Genesis,
Yes.
Proverbs,
Yeah. Aiden's?
Psalms.
Good. One of the early Old Testament books. It means exit. Kind of sounds like an X. Don't tell her, guys. Don't tell her. I know it's tempting. Do you know how it goes? No. You don't know. Okay. Your turn, mister.
Colossians, John, Genesis, Philippians, Proverbs, Psalm, Exodus, and Genesis.
We already said that one. That was the third book.
Peter.
Peter. First Peter? Second Peter?
Can we have the little box?
Okay, let's see how far we can go. Now, you had a little bit easier because two of them didn't give any other books. Yeah. Okay, Nathan?
Colossians, John, Genesis, Philippians,
Great.
Proverbs,
Yeah.
Psalms, Exodus,
Good.
Peter,
Yeah. Leviticus. Do we know that one? Leviticus. Very good, Nathan. Sophie.
John's. John. I said John's again. Colossians, John, Genesis,
Great. You guys better listen. Your turn is coming.
Philippians,
Book of Wisdom.
Psalms.
Switch it. Switch it.
Proverbs,
Yeah.
Psalms,
Yeah.
Exodus, Peter,
The Book of Law. Leviticus. Leviticus. That's okay. That's a tricky one. Now add one on. You could do the last book of the Bible. That'd be an easy one for us all to remember, if you remember it. Revelation. If you want to.
Jobs.
Job.
Okay.
Very good. Juliana, you'll be the last one.
John, Genesis, Philippians, Proverbs, Psalm, Exodus, Peter,
Leviticus.
Job,
And?
Revelation.
Yay! Hey, not too bad. Girls really got that one well. Okay, guess what? Sounds like they're dismissed. So if you have a Christmas play to practice, stay here. And everyone else, au revoir. Yes. I can't hear you, bud. Oh, I still can't hear you. Go ahead. You got to speak up. I think, Nathan, you can go ahead.
Can I go outside?
It's up to your mom and dad. You mean back into church? Yeah, go see mom and dad. Or mom. Okay, go quickly. Bum, 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 bum.
2 seconds.